Okay, now that you have Ddlc's archive installed, let's open RenPy. Double-click on the DDM Maker 6 folder. And then open renpy.exe by simply double-clicking it, or alternatively, right-clicking it and selecting Run as Administrator. Personally, I like running it as an administrator. Let's head on over to the RenPy launcher that should appear on your screen in a few moments.
Hey, there it is. That's the thing I didn't show you when I was restarting the stupid thing.
Oh dear! It looks like that we have our whole tutorial lecture mod on the list on my screen. Oh well, don't worry about it. Everything should actually be blank when you first open this enhanced RenPy launcher. Or perhaps you'll be presented with a list of mods you have created from some directory. Depends on if you've created mods before with older templates and stuff, or if this is your first time modding. Oh hey, we have the option to download a copy of Ddlc here. How convenient. If you haven't downloaded Ddlc already, I suggest you go ahead and do that by clicking on Download Ddlc.
Well, I mean, it was just the last step and all, you know.
The link should take you to Ddlc.my. If you already downloaded Ddlc, then let's proceed to the next step.
Yes, please.
Let's have a look at the settings, shall we? Alright, I need your undivided attention for this next step. We have quite some stuff to go over here. Please note that the name of this PC is censored out for privacy reasons. The very first field on the top left indicates your project directory. To make things easy, an empty folder has been created shortly before writing this tutorial. Remember the folder that you saw called Ddlc Mods? Yup, it's the very first folder on my screen. Now's the time to create that folder on your screen. I'll just sit here until you're done creating the folder.
Whoop, totally doing it. Whoa. I'm done creating the folder.
Excellent. Now that our folder has been created, let's return to our RenPy window to select it as our mod directory. Click on the project directory field to select the exact destination that is shown on my screen. Once that's done, we can move on to the second field. The next field is where Ddlc's zip directory is located. Once you have selected the directory, we're ready to create a new project. Side note, there's also a text editor field. You can use Atom, JEdit, System Editor, or don't let RenPy open any editors. I chose the System Editor option because we have an editor that we can use to edit RPY files. You should have that option ticked too if you want to use an editor that you installed too. You can use almost any system editor that you want. Personally, I think Visual Studio Code or Notepad++ works the best. However, you can also use Sublime Text if you prefer using that instead. Again, the regular Notepad that comes with your computer's current installation, regardless of operating system, will not open RPY files. You will constantly be reminded of this, so we suggest you write the following down right now. Built-in editors such as Windows Notepad and Mac's TextEdit will not open RPY files. Once you've selected the exact location of where your Ddlc zip file is, shown on my screen, we can now exit the settings menu by clicking on Return. Okay, I think we're ready to create a new project. To create a new mod, just click on Create New Project.
Wow.
Alright, so we need to input a name for the mod you want to make. You can provide any name you want, but non-ASCII file and character directory names are not allowed due to package format limitations. For this series of lectures, I will write example mod into this field. Obviously, I'm not saying that you need to write example mod on your screen as well or anything. Again, you can provide any name you want for this field, but non-ASCII file and directory names are prohibited because of package format limitations. In short, provide any name you want in this field as long as it follows the package format limitations. When you're done filling in that field, just click Continue. Ddlc should then be installed and extracted. This process will only take a minute or two to complete. Depends on your computer's current performance. Alright, so here's an important thing you must know. A file named renpyversion.txt has been created in the base directory. It is there to determine which version RenPy uses to build your mod. So don't you dare delete it! Got it? Anyway, once you read through that, click Continue. Hey, presto! Our new mod is on the list, or now on the list. We're all done setting up. Before we get into the fun and games, we need to take care of a few things. In my next lecture, we'll be exploring the game files and... Huh? What's that you say? Do you prefer to set up mods using the Ddlc mod template instead? You want to know how you can set yourself up so you can make a mod with it? Well, that's no problem. Just follow my lead and you'll be okie dokie. Before we begin, I'd like to address a few important items. First things first, setting up your mods with the Ddlc mod template takes a bit longer than setting them up with Doki Doki Mod. Second, it's important to make sure your files go to where they need to be. And third, I'll tell you about the third item in a bit. Let's get started with setting up mods using the Ddlc mod template. Alright, let's do this. The very first thing that you need to do is click here so you can access the mod template. The template was made by Gantz, the King of SA. Oh hey, they're the same person who made DDM Maker. What a coincidence. Anyway, you should see the download link to the latest version right about now. At the time of writing this, the Ddlc mod template version was 2.4.8. The template may have gotten updated since then, but the first version you see is the latest. Click on the zip file to download it. Create a new folder in your RenPy folder and name it Mod Template. Save the zip file into the new folder you just created. With WinRAR, 7-zip, or whatever similar software you have, extract the files right here. Okay, you should see this on your screen now. If your screen doesn't look exactly like what's shown on my screen, then I'm sorry to say this, but you goofed. Correct any mistakes and let me know when you're ready to move on.
How would you fail at this? I'm ready to move on. Yeah.
Okie dokie. If you downloaded a 3rd generation Ddlc mod template, then the following doesn't apply to you. If you want to upgrade your copy of the Ddlc mod template to the 3rd generation, simply read this file and follow the instructions carefully. Let's go ahead and take a look at what the files contain. So this is what the template looks like. Very well organized. We're going to have quite a good time with this. We have our characters folder that contains all of our files. We got our game folder filled with what we need for our first mod. It contains the main script files that make up the game, such as definitions, GUI, options, splash, poem stuff, etc. And there's original scripts. Basically, that's the entire vanilla script. It's good to refer to those script files if you're daring to do advanced things with your mod, such as disabling the quick menu function or make characters small, etc. Obviously, I would not recommend that you solely use these vanilla script files in your mod. And what exactly do I mean by this? The answer is simple. Potential people looking for a mod to play will quickly find out that your mod is an exact word-for-word clone of the original game, and that's not okie dokie. In other words, copying someone else's hard work is a twisted and very stupid, unintelligent idea.
Well, I mean, you can learn from how they design things that way.
That's plagiarism. Don't do that. Please. Anyway, what's next? Oh yes. There's a file called config.xconfig in this template. That file may be extremely small in size, but it looks very important. So don't delete it. There includes a PDF file to assist with setting up the mod template, upgrading RenPy if you need be, and building your mod for both PC and Android. Why Android though? I don't think anyone's ever going to make an Android Ddlc mod anytime soon.
Actually, they've been releasing non-stop Android ports of mods constantly these days. It's pretty nuts.
Anyway, there's 2 README files. One of them is an HTML that can be opened with a browser such as Microsoft Edge, Google Chrome, Firefox, Opera, Safari, etc. The other can be opened using a compatible text editor such as Visual Studio Code, Sublime Text, etc. Not Notepad! Both of these files function the same way. They provide useful information like the guides.pdf file does in a way. The xcode.md file also looks important, so we should keep this one too. Okay, now we'll dive into the template's game folder to see what we're up against.
Oh god, sort by file type, please.
Alright, we're in. Wah! Alright then. There's a lot of files here. Our character files are also located here for some bizarre reason. We have our basic script files for CGs, the console, the credits, definitions, the list goes on. Wait. There's a file called lockdown check.rpy here.
Actually, I know why the character files are in here. It's because this is the extracted contents of scripts.rpa, which is where the character files are stored in Doki Doki Literature Club before they're written into the characters folder. That's how the game can create and destroy them constantly, because they're just hidden from you normally.
Hmm? You know what this means, right?
There are Ren'Py versions where the mod template won't work in.
Yes! This depends on which version of Ren'Py you installed. Usually new Ddlc modders use Ren'Py version 6.99 to start off their modding journey. Now that's the version of Ren'Py that Ddlc was created in, actually. You can optionally upgrade to Ren'Py 7.4.5 so that you have the ability to set up, install, and use the Mood Pose tool. Or maybe utilize other unique features that 7.4.5 has, go nuts or something. As a matter of fact, Ren'Py 7.4.5 is the last working version and should be used by users familiar with Ren'Py coding. Why is that, you may ask? Well, starting in Ren'Py 7.4.6, Ddlc's transitions have been shattered. This bug is present in 7.7 and 7.4.8. At the time of writing this, there may potentially be another version of Ren'Py that has this chaotic bug. As a result, you can't use the mod template if you have Ren'Py version 7.4.6 and higher for the time being. And if you plan to make a Ddlc mod using Ren'Py 7, use version 7.4.5. It's best to wait until the issue is mitigated in a new release and is looked over by Kent, the king of SA. Hey, go blame Ren'Py for breaking Ddlc's transitions in version 7.4.6 and higher! Huh? The bug had been fixed recently? Oh, that's lovely. Thank our modding overlords for giving us a third generation for the Ddlc modding template. What's the next one that wasn't in the mod template before? Oh, we have a pronouns feature that was in a work in progress state. The file is called pronounexample.rpy. Our player character can use the male terms he, him, the female terms she, her, or the gender neutral terms they, them. You can make custom pronouns if for some bizarre reason you choose to do so as well, so there's that. It has come to my attention that the template version you have seems to have the pronouns feature in working order because of the new syntax. Cool.
Yay, I can finally be a helicopter.
What's that? You have a third generation Ddlc mod template that has some new files that are not shown on my screen since the template I downloaded is quite outdated. And you want to know what they are and what they do? I suppose I can deviate for a few minutes to talk about them. Let's begin with achievements.rpy. This file contains the code needed to create your own achievements, to show how much progress you made in a compatible Ddlc mod.
You an E here.
The syntax that makes up an achievement are as follows. The name of the achievement, its description, its image, the persistent needed to unlock it, and a count that should match, and or a max count that must be reached.
Oh, sorry. It is description. It is image. There you go.
Stumped? Read this document carefully. You'll understand the majority of everything in there. It's also ideal to seek the Ddlc Discord server, look for a channel that helps modders out with issues, and ask for help. Our friendly admins will surely help you out. The following third generation exclusive RPY files should apply too. If there's something you don't understand, again, please read this document carefully.
Didn't need to capitalize that again.
The gallery.rpy file contains code for a new menu that shows off pictures that appear in your mod. You can also export pictures to the gallery, but you can't export sprites. Look, I don't know why you can't export sprites. Please ask an admin politely as to why that's the case, not me. Anyway, the syntax needed for an image from the gallery is as follows. The image, the path, name, sprite, watermark, and if you want to lock it until it's visible in-game. For the syntax on the gallery screen, GL image, GL small size, GL name, GL sprite, and GL locked. There also exists a file called renpypatches.rpy that simply attempts to patch the evil bugs that were made to the scene transitions and their effects. Some features in the third generation that have been added onto what exists in the files were familiar with this Uncensored Mode and Let's Play Mode. Let's Play Mode simply keeps all of your sensitive information private, such as your real name, location, IP address, etc. Uncensored Mode allows for some sentence enhancers.
Well, what did that say? It blinked away.
Basically, Uncensored Mode changes something like...
And I guess it blipped it out of the history there?
Gasoline, porcupine, chocolate, crack, cow soup. To this. fuckity fuck shit bitch crappy motherfucker asshole fucking Monica. You know, that actually felt pretty good. I most definitely needed to get that off my chest. Anyway, from what I can gather, these features are usually turned off by default. If you're running a compatible mod for the first time while you have open broadcaster software, XSplit, etc. running in your streaming, Let's Play mode enables itself automatically. Pretty cool, eh? I think that's pretty much everything we need to know about those new files for now. Let's get back on topic now. The readme.amd file simply explains what exactly each file in this folder does.
You mean like you just did?
It's pretty handy and we're going to keep this. Besides, the scripts in this game folder is the exact same files that are in Ddlc's scripts.rpa file.
Yes.
There's a few things left to do before we go and get a fresh Ddlc installation. Obviously, we need to download RenPy. Go ahead and click here for all the RenPy versions that are available to download. There are currently over 130 versions and counting. Wow. The following is a version I'll recommend to you based on your input from the introduction. For the advanced users, since you have gotten the gist of Ddlc modding before and you want to make something advanced, you should download RenPy version 7.4.5,
just spelled with a G.
All versions later than that, starting with 7.4.6, will send your face first into the lockout I've mentioned just seconds earlier. However, if you're not fully ready to start modding with RenPy versions later than 6.99, then you can keep using that version until you're ready. If you do want to download the later versions, then that's totally up to you. But please keep in mind that unless you have the 3rd generation Ddlc mod template installed on your computer, you can't mod Ddlc with the previous mod templates due to the lockdowns. As for the rest of you, since you are either new to modding or you were not willing to ramp up the difficulty at the moment, you should download RenPy's version 6.99. Some modders like you use version 6.99 for mods anyway. Before you download your RenPy version, allow me to pull up where you should put it. Just give me a moment to find the approximate location, please. Okay, here's what I got. I'm showing RenPy 6 as an example. Though if you got RenPy 7, then this zip archive should be in the RenPy 7 folder. I prefer downloading the zip files instead of exe ones. It's just less suspicious. Just let me know when you have finished downloading RenPy and located it exactly as it shows on my screen, or anything similar if you have 7.4.5 downloaded instead of 6.99.
I thought we already did this.
In the meantime, I'll just be staring at your amazing desktop wallpaper.
I actually don't have one, it's just a black screen. The setup is complete.
Alright! We have one more thing to do, and that is to get a fresh Ddlc installation. You may have several fresh installations until buried in your PC somewhere. For example, if you're using Windows, the archive is called Ddlc win.zip. The exact name of the archive depends on the operating system you use. For Mac users, it would be ddlc.mac.zip.
Yeah, we seem to be iterating over ourselves here. Why are we doing this again?
If you don't seem to have it yet, or you feel like downloading it again, for the umpteenth time, the place to get a fresh Ddlc installation is none other than ddlc.moe. Just go to the ddlc.moe, find the download link that's compatible for your operating system, and you're golden. Let me show you where to put the installation for easy access. Please put your newly obtained fresh Ddlc installation here. In case you're wondering why I had been creating folders for everything, that's because I like to keep things organized. Let me know when you have completed this step.
I thought we already completed this step. Done.
Okay! The next thing we need to do now is to make another folder to put our projects in. Organization is key when it comes to making directories. Like this.